This is my top 10. It's quite an eclectic mix, and hopefully there's something on here that you'll enjoy. Kicking this off at number 10 is Historia from GeoChixit. Historia is one of those games that delivers incredible playability with its solo variant. The rules are simple to follow and you get a great experience from this game. This is a civilization game and one that plays pretty quickly. There are familiar concepts, a world map, a tech tree, population cubes, but there is very little housekeeping. Dominating the play area is the military and tech tree, with a small world map governing area control and influencing our victory points. We're tracing our civilization through 12,000 years of history and commanding their development with a set of action cards. Gameplay is all about prioritising your cards, timing which actions to play, and managing the pace of your development against the threat of expanding neighbours. These neighbours are controlled by civ bots, effectively controlled by simple AI, and who, with variable difficulties, take on a character of their own. Very cleverly, these civ bots will also compete against each other as well as us as the soloist, and you'll often find one of these 5 civilizations emerging as your biggest rival for the final victory point tally. An epic game that is tense from the start, rich with its theme as you develop your civilization with new powers and neat tricks earned by building wonders of the world. Historia is everything you need for a streamlined solitaire civ. What a treat to kick off our top 10. At number 9, Cruel Necessity from Victory Point Games. The most enjoyable playthrough I think I've done on Box of Delights was for this game, Cruel Necessity, the English Civil Wars. It's back in States of Siege territory, but feels very different to the others in the series. I'm a history buff, and this one really delivered. John Welsh is a high school history teacher who really knows his material, at the very least has done a great job researching his material. The game is packed with flavour text that unveils the story behind the action being played out on the board. The story of Charles I and Cromwell is so compelling that a game that allows you to play out this long campaign was always going to be a winner for me. But it needed the gameplay to back it up and to get it placed so highly on my list. The main story sees you defending London from the encroaching royalists and their allies in true States of Siege style. But supplementing this and making this a standout game in the series are the political tracks, the battle map where we focus in on the battles being played out on the main map, and the achievements that give you rewards and allowed you to build your victory point score. In particular, the achievements give the game its layer of replayability, because it's these that can alter your strategy as you divert attention from the royalists to the demands of these achievements. The order they come out and how they line up can give you a very different game experience and are a lovely and gentle touch to the game. There are nuances with the smaller scale battles, but I love them all the same. Set amongst the context of the bigger game, they take on a level of significance that adds to the tension of every die roll. It's a great piece of work, and for me, this is the highlight of the States of Siege series. At number 8, RAF The Battle of Britain, 1940. As primarily a thematic and Eurogamer, I found the game to be very heavily scripted, and this put me off for quite some time. By scripted, I mean that for a great deal of the game time, you're acting out events, not making decisions. But there's a very justifiable spot on my top 10 for a heavily scripted wargame. It gives a totally new experience compared to the rest of the games on the list, and that's why I love it. So why RAF Battle of Britain and not some other wargame? Battle of Britain is event card driven, like many of the thematic games you've seen on this list. The dice rolling is kept to a minimum, and when you see the battle play out on the map, as you follow the script, it never feels like downtime. This is where Battle of Britain shines as a full-scale campaign over many game days, watching the ebb and flow of the battle and feeling like you are in command. Although the game appears very abstract, and you don't have to deal with the minute details of plane dynamics or the minute-by-minute tactics of the battlefield, it's very well connected to its theme. You are instead making strategic decisions as a commander in the war room with the high-level perspective this brings. The war room in front of you feels as real as it can get, with the intel coming back to you and enacted out on the battle map. It's so very deeply engaging. If you thought you didn't like war games, give this a try. With layered rules and an added 2-player game, you can't go wrong with a bit of Battlefield. At number 7, Greenland from Sierra Madre Games. What the solo variant failed to do in Megafauna, Greenland succeeds at. Greenland is one of Eklund's designer card game simulations. With echoes of Pax Porfiriana and BIOS, Greenland is a science adventure that spans 5 centuries of the Tunit, Thule and Norse peoples evolving their skills to survive in the Arctic of Greenland. I'm one of the people who love Phil's graphic design, and although the second edition is cleaner and more approachable, supported by the artwork of Kareem Shukran, I'm lucky enough to have Phil's first edition, and I'll cherish it for a long, long time. You'll play all 3 tribes in the solo variant, seeking to balance their demands on the environment by diversifying their skills and creating cooperation between them, using tactics such as marrying their sons and daughters. You'll learn hunting skills, navigational skills, and ways to keep warm and find materials. You'll trade with passing Norsemen and learn to exploit the biodiversity of the tundra. It's a captivating story with captivating gameplay. There's no easy choices, and the compromises you make and where you invest your time and effort developing your tribes will pay off as you see them survive generation after generation. It's not a quick game to play, even solo, so take your time with it and relax into the unfolding story. Apply consideration to every decision and to the evolving landscape. There's plenty of flavour text to delight you, and a wealth of variability with each play. At number 6, Arkham Horror from Fantasy Flight Games. Arkham Horror has grown in my affections as time has passed. There is a small element of nostalgia here, but much of it has to do with the replay value, the variety of expansions, the story the game continues to tell, as well as the ongoing struggle to get the better of this game playing solitaire. I still remember that my first plays were not wholly successful. As one of the first hobby games I played, I didn't fully understand the objective or the nature of play. I was more accustomed to abstracts like chess or roll and move games that required little thought. As my hobby career developed, Arkham Horror grew and grew in my estimation. As I began to understand the mechanics of event card play and character development, and as I began to appreciate more and more how a board game could tell a good story. Arkham Horror captures the atmosphere of its theme better than any other solo game I know. If we compare it, for example, to its sister game, Eldritch Horror, what you'll find is that Arkham gives you a much more claustrophobic, more ominous atmosphere. The foggy, humid streets, the dank, dark locations, the chilling encounters will set your spine tingling. You can feel the unnerving tension of every die roll, and the sinister smouldering of the gates to the other worlds, while the ancient ones stir in their slumber. You will become the characters you play, you'll share their dreams, and the game will leave you with their nightmares.